and welcome back to the lab. We have a micro soldering job to do, and that might be interesting, so let's share it. This Pluto SDR comes with a horrible crystal producing really a huge temperature drift, and so we really have to put a better one in, and therefore we have a nice TCXO which we put in here, and yeah, you may see here a little dot, and yeah, so that is a new crystal which needs to go in our SDR, and so it is a micro soldering job, and let's see how it turns out. And of course, therefore, we have to take it apart, and let's see how it looks like. I do not talk a lot about the SDR, so today it is really only our micro soldering job, and therefore, oh, that is nicely done, isn't it? So down here we have the old, and I believe it is also a TCXO, but yeah, it turned out that it will not really work, so you can't do a good job with it. So therefore we swap it out, and let's see if then the owner can do what he wants to do with it. So he's trying to do some satellite conversation with this module, so therefore let's go ahead. Alright, and I have everything prepared so far, and what we see down here on the board, that okay, so that is the one we need to take out, and you see here I have put the new one beneath it to see that there is also a difference. So it is much smaller, and it really needs to fit here onto our pads, and therefore it might be a little bit critical. So therefore it is really a nice micro soldering job, which I hope is a little bit interesting to you. So first of all, let's take the old one out, but therefore we prepare it here a little bit with Kapton tape. Alright, so Kapton tape is done, and what we see here as well is we have here a dot which is our orientation, because as you might know, TCXOs needs supply voltages, and therefore really important. What I do here is first of all flux to our solder joints, and then second will be we put a little bit fresh solder to it to get it easier off, and therefore that is the next step. And it is really good to do so, because I use leaded solder right now, since we have different melting points, and therefore it is much better to use for reflow jobs leaded solder. So therefore let's go down here and let's see how it works out. And you may already see that it do not like to melt easily, and that is not only, but one point is that it is unleaded. Here the solder which is today used in production, and on the other hand we have ground planes here which we need to overcome. So that is definitely not easy, so you can do a lot of things wrong. So therefore be careful if you're doing so. Okay, so now our hot air is already in action, and I start to heat it carefully from a distance a little bit before I go more down to it. And let's see. And that is exactly what I've expected. So that is really a job. So you see there is really a lot of ground plane involved, and I change now my my tip to have more airflow over a bigger distance. So that can you see it? Let me see. So that is the nozzle I'm using. And now I change it to have more airflow on a bigger area. So let's do that, and then I will be back. Okay, now with the new nozzle, same job, and you see we really never should underestimate the ground plane which is involved. And you see still no fun. But now it's going to lose, and here we have it. So you really have seen how long it took to really get it off. And once again, that is exactly why I'm showing this, because you may think, oh, no problem, it is such a little component, and that shouldn't be a problem to get it off. And you really see how hard it can be if you do not have the right tools. So therefore, be careful If you have the wrong tools, I promise you destroy the board. Okay, next now will be that we clean here the pads, because I really want to have get off all the unleaded solder, to be sure that we can place a new one which is even smaller. So let's go and prepare for the next step. And of course, as I said, we need to clean here the board, and again we use of course our flux, then our sucker on, and now our soldering iron. Let's see. And I've changed here the tip to have more. Yeah, so that's where it's working out fine, as you can see. And these both here are ground, and that is all over our board. And yeah, so that is exactly what you see when our friends who are repairing mobile phones are fighting with. So a mobile phone, so a cellular phone, has a lot of ground plane, and therefore it is really not an easy job to get finally the job done. So I have to put a little bit more on, and once again it is not entirely clean, and I really want to have it clean to have a good basis, and really you can feel it. That is really unbelievable here. Okay, I believe that should be fine now. And now I clean it. Then we try to place our new component. Okay, so you see I am checking here how it is best to get it down here, and you see that it should work. It really should work, no question. So yeah, we put here a little bit solder, and then I try to put it or to fix it at one point to be able to do the rest a little bit easier. So let's prepare for that. And the same procedure, I put down here a bit flux to one of the pads, and now of course we have to place a little bit solder just to get it fixed here at one point. Yeah, that looks good. And by the way, let me see, that is here the solder which I'm normally working with, and here for micro soldering I use this thinner material, so you see the difference. So that is what we need to do. Okay, so next step. Okay, and now it is important that we have the right orientation here down on the board. And I hope you see here is our dot on the PCB, and down there, I hope you can see it, there is a little dot on our new TCXO. And now let's see if we can get it here onto our pad, so that we have tacked it here a little bit to be able to do the rest. Okay, looks good. Looks good. And you see, or better you hear, that I do not have here my section on to be able, or to avoid that you know, it is flowing away. So now we have tacked it, and that is the very, very important first step. And now we can go ahead and we can use, of course, our section again. Alright, so now we can place flex. Okay, and now I can turn it here a little bit to make it easier to hit here the next solder joint. Now we get back here our section, and now let's go. Okay, now we turn it that way and go ahead over there. Okay, looks good. And now that is definitely the most critical pad, which we already discussed. Really much ground plane over there. So therefore, let's go for it. And you see, it really do not really want to take here the solder. I hope you can see it. And that is really the point. Okay, so I believe that is fine, and at the end we really put some more flux all over, because now we use a hot air flow just to do the rest if there might be something not really connected. So therefore we use here our hot air. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it is working out fine. Very good. So that's it. And of course we clean it, so that is all normal procedure. And yeah, then our job is really done. So we can here take off the tape, and it is clear that under the tape we have also some flux residue, which of course we clean away, but yeah, that is now already pouring. So okay, so that's it. And when I now go here down to the situation, so you might get the impression how small it is. So our TCXO is there. So that's it. All is done, and micro soldering job is also done. I hope that was a little bit interesting, because you really saw how difficult it could be if you underestimate the ground plane. Okay, so that's it. Catch you next time. Bye.